Welcome back to another episode of Presley's Pod. Today is a very, very special day because it's the 1 year anniversary of Presley's Pod. Today is technically the day before Sunday, so you know what I mean. Like it came out, yeah, you know what I mean. And we'll get into it, but the fact that I've been doing this for a year, a whole year, and it doesn't even feel like a year, like crazy. So we'll get into it. Anyway, first things first, some new decor. You can't really see this one, but some new decor, okay? I feel like we just needed to spice it up, after a year. One day when we're in a studio, and I don't have to do this setup anymore. Oh, it's gonna be so great. I feel like setting it up is my least favorite part because you would think that I would have it down to a science of like how high the tripod should go, what like ring light, whatever. I don't. I figure it out brand new every single time. So I also am fully aware that I look insane, okay? And that's what we want to get into a little bit this week. The difference between like I love on the show preaching self-love, self-care, but then it gets into like a little bit of self-awareness, right? So I went to game 4 of the Knicks game this past week. So fun, right? We're going to get into it. Don't you worry. But we took a lot of pictures, right? I went with a 26-year-old. We took a lot of pictures, and I was seeing in the pictures and seeing in those like bright MSG bathroom lights, I was like, okay, my skin looks insane. And there's only so much you can do by yourself before you need to like call in the big guns to give you a facial. So Friday last night, I went and I got a facial. The trains were so messed up in New York. I had to go. I found myself in Times Square, right? And I was like, my pores are so open in Times Square right now, just taking in all of this. And then I was like, maybe that's why my skin, like when I moved to New York, my skin got bad, but it was also college. So anyway, but I saw that my skin needed some help. And then I also saw like in the pictures, I was starting to look like a little, so and everyone is like, you do not need these. But for me, my eyelash extensions are just like, I swear they just make my face look so much better. I have a few left right now, but without them, I look like a little boy. I truly look like a little boy. So I was seeing these pictures and I was like, you know what? I love myself so much, but I have to get this handled because I do not want to be running around looking like that. So, lashes are today, facial was last night. We're feeling good. I have some big updates for everybody, okay? So, I obviously 1 year of Presley's Pod, right? I am so first of all proud of myself for sticking to this for a full year. But honestly, when I started this, I was like, I will not be that girl that starts a show and has 10 episodes on YouTube and then quits. Like, if I'm starting something, we're going all in. And I feel like that is in every single aspect of my life. Like, if you're going to be my friend, if you're going to be my boyfriend, if I'm going to start this new career thing, like, I'm going all in. So I need to make sure that I have all my ducks in a row to make sure that this can like go the distance, right? And I told myself I would give it 3 years. 3 years. And we're already a year in, like easy, easy. So I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that's listened, to everyone that's subscribed. It's crazy that I think it's the slow burn episode has like 700 views or almost. I haven't checked in a while. And like that people are listening to what I'm saying is crazy. And I randomly, maybe not randomly, feel very aligned with this. Whatever Presley's Pod turns into, whether it's just a way to like make some extra income with like one brand deal a year, or the show like pops off, or like I as like a superstar pop off, I don't know what it's going to be, but I know it's going to be something. And I'm just going to keep building on this momentum and definitely going to do the 3 year thing. And if after 3 years I'm like, that was fun while it lasted, but like I'm kind of over it, then maybe I'll pivot to something else. I don't know, but I love like having this, and it's been so fun. And it's crazy that like I remember I was sitting on Lauren's couch and we had just gotten back from Naples, and I like recapped Naples, and it was messy and it was rambly, but having friends there and the friends that have supported me throughout, listening to the pod, like tuning in, texting me about it, the friends that have come on the pod, like to sit and talk with me to post on YouTube for the world to see. Granted, I only have 50 subscribers, but still, like, that is so nice of them for them to take the time out of their days to do that and like bring good energy and be funny. Like, I cannot say thank you enough, and that's why I'm throwing like a little party for them. But I like, this is crazy. This is crazy. I also I'm just so happy that we've got some subscribers because it would be really sad if it was just like Lauren, Addie, and my mother. And I also want to give, this is like a major green flag for me, but the 26-year-old has always like listened to the pod, tuned in. I've been doing this for a year. I've only been seeing him for a few months. So there's been other men that did not tune in and that they did not listen. And honestly, there was one that, we ended things, and now I go on Instagram and he has a pod. I said, interesting. Wonder who gave you that idea. Anyway, I digress. So I do have a little gift for you all at the end, but we have some big, big updates to talk about. Let me get settled. I spent the entire weekend with the 26-year-old. The entire weekend, Friday, early evening to Sunday morning. And I didn't want to kill him by the end of it. And usually, a good indicator for me that I'm not feeling somebody if I spend that much time with someone is I end up like crying in the bathroom. I end up crying in the bathroom, and I'm always like, I wonder what this is about. The number of bathrooms I've cried in. So the 26-year-old and I are officially exclusive. Granted, on his end, we were exclusive the entire time, but I needed a little bit of extra time, right? I was like a little bit more of a loving the slow burn. And now that we're exclusive, I'm like, wow, we get to have like another slow burn. Like, who knows where? I don't know what the timeline is for like boyfriend and girlfriend. And some people would say that if you're exclusive, you're boyfriend and girlfriend. But I think it's different. I think you can be exclusively dating someone and like not have to like meet the friends or like bring them to family functions, whatever. Like, I think exclusive to boyfriend and girlfriend, once you're boyfriend and girlfriend, you're working on like integrating your lives more and you're doing more daily things together, whatever. So for those of you that are a little bit new to the pod, I met the 26-year-old, who he's now 27, but I met the 26-year-old on Hinge. I liked him on Hinge, and I remember I'm pretty sure I sent screenshots of his profile to Lauren and Addie. And I was like, this guy's really cute for a 26-year-old, because that was usually not my MO, right? I, for some reason in my head, like anyone mid 20s was just going to be frat boy, like just not it for me. So I always was like shooting for a little bit older. So I was like, wow, okay, let me like throw him a like and see what happens. So I like shot my shot with him, liked him on Hinge, and then he like brought it home, okay? And wait, because I went to the next game, okay? I shot my shot, right? Okay, this is now a sports podcast, so listen up. I shot my shot just like Jalen Brunson did towards the end. Okay, are you following me? Shot my shot. And then OG tipped it in. And that was the 26-year-old that like brought us together and responded and made the plans and did all the things. So Friday night, we went to dinner. And after dinner, he was like, I have like an activity, and I was so stressed. I was like, what shoes do I wear? Like, do I wear a heel? Are we walking? And he was like, well, like you're gonna be standing, but it's not an activity, like you can't really sit down. And so I was like, okay. So as we're walking, the Met like comes into view, okay? And he was like, oh, we're gonna do like the Met date night, blah blah blah. Great. Now that I'm comfortable with this man, I can't seem to like pump the brakes on my like oversharing, right? So I just said, I was like, yeah, I've like done this before on a date. And it's kind of like, okay, Presley, we didn't need to give him that information. Like, we're not withholding information, but you could have just said, yeah, I've been here before. And I don't know if I fully told you all about this guy. Our first date, not the 26-year-old, this guy I went to the Met with, we were calling him Mr. Brooklyn because he lived in Brooklyn. And I was like, I don't know if I can do long distance. Anyway, okay, so first date, I was like, okay, either he's really nervous or he's not feeling this vibe at all. So I was like, okay, went on my way, whatever. He asked me out on a second date, and I said, okay, interesting. Like, we were talking, but there wasn't like that, like, spark. And so I was like, you know what? Slow burn. Like, who knows? So then we do the Met date, and it was like this man came to life, and I was like, maybe he just needed like an activity to be like walking around or something. And then we did the Met. We got an Uber to another bar. I didn't know what bar we were going to, but in the Uber, I like took a glance to like where we were headed, and I was like, oh, like that's a bar that I enjoy going to as well. And I didn't see this like in the cards for him that he would enjoy this, whatever. So I was like, oh, okay. And then we had a great like night that night, whatever. I went home. Third date, we went to dinner and we kind of like went back to the first date. I was like, we're like pulling teeth here. This is not whatever. Then we had plans to hang out the night before I went out of town. And by noon that day, I still hadn't heard from him. And I am just not really the type to wait around. Like, I will not text you, oh, are we still on for tonight? Like, what's the plan? Like, you just won't hear from me. And honestly, this wasn't a lie because I remember that day it was crazy. I felt like I was coming down with something and I was like about to go on a trip. I don't want to, whatever. But by noon that day, if I haven't heard from you, bye. So I just texted him and I was like, I'm not feeling well. Sorry. Then he texted me the next day and was like, safe travels. And I said, thank you. And we never spoke again. And we never spoke again. Anyway, so we go to the Met the next day for his birthday. We did like a puppy yoga thing, which was so cute. Highly recommend. We went and saw his friends the following night. And like Sunday morning, he went out and got breakfast, came back, and he was like, wow, I'm like so surprised that like you're being so nice to me. And usually from men, what I hear, I get a lot of feedback on is that it's hard to tell if I like them. And I don't think it's because I'm not being like mean. I'm just not, it takes me a second. Like it really just takes me a second. And so I said that to him. I was like, yes, but like now that like we're in it, and when I asked him to be exclusive, I was like, I was like, do you want to be like, I fully thought I was gonna have a heart attack because he told me that he was exclusive with me from the beginning. And so he was like, you let me know when you're ready. And so I was finally ready. I was like, it's about time. It's been like 4 months. So okay, cool. But I didn't know if like his idea, like if he's changed his mind or what was going on. So I was like, yeah, I can like open up and be a nice person for like the people that are like in my life and the people that I care about, but it takes me a second. So shout out to him for like sticking it out with me for those couple months while I figured out what was going on. So with the 26-year-old, this is the first person in a while that I'm like, okay, I think this could be like more than just something casual, more than just a situationship, because I feel like I can be fully myself around him. I feel this calmness around him. I don't feel like I'm being judged or I'm like yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Like I truly just feel at peace when we're together, and I also feel motivated by him and inspired by him. Like we just click. Granted, this could all change in like a month. I hope it doesn't, but who knows? Who knows? And here's the thing, right? I always feel like listening to people talk about their relationships or whatever, you're like, oh my gosh, that sounds so perfect. Like, I can't find anybody like that, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's so hard out here. I have been through the ringer. I have been through the ringer when it comes to dating, okay? I have been, not anymore, outside in those streets through the ringer, okay? I've been people's mothers, I've been people's therapists, I've been people's career coaches, and that was my favorite because I'm like, I'm not even in your industry. How am I better at this than you are? Like, I just don't understand. I have been my favorites. And this is like going back to the crying in the bathroom, okay? Like the bathrooms I've cried in have been a lot, okay? One of my all time favorite stories, this guy that I was seeing, we were about to travel together. So I was like, whatever, come like meet the fam just so that they know that you're not going to murder me. Whatever. He meets the fam. Next night, we're sitting in this like fam and I, plus some extended family. So everyone got to be witness to this. We're sitting in this like very open bar, restaurant, so you can see the people that walk by, right? Me and this guy, we were not exclusive, but he was about to bring me on a trip. So he walks, no, I just ruined the story. Someone walks by and they're wearing, I see this man and a blonde girl. Oh gosh, they all have a type. I see a man and a blonde girl, and I say, that kind of looks like what's his face, but that coat is really ugly. And I don't think that he would wear said coat. The coat comes walking back. Sure enough, it's him. My dad is the first person to see that it's him, right? He had met my family the night before. Okay, like I have been. Did I still go on the trip? Yeah, went on the trip. That trip was fine. Actually, for some reason, I went on another trip with this man. I went on another trip, and while we were there, he was basically acting like it was like an inconvenience for him that I was there. And I cried in the bathroom because I was like, I want to get out of here. Granted, like I stuck it out through the trip, whatever. But you don't want to feel like an inconvenience, right? Someone that I was in like a very serious relationship with. We were long distance, and a couple of times he's like, yeah, this was just like a really bad week for you to come. And I was like, you couldn't have told me that before I got on a plane and took away from my life before I came back here. Anyway, I've been on dates where the man is fully looking behind me at the girl behind me. And I'm like, you could just say you don't feel good. I'd go home. You can come back in and talk to your girl behind me, right? Like it has just been, it's been interesting. And this is why I am so passionate about if you're dating, like please date everyone, try everything. I also, during a dark time, spent $100 on a membership to the league. Okay? Because I was like, Hinge isn't really doing it for me. Raya wasn't doing it for me. I said, I need to be where the successful people are. And I got the return on that investment. Okay. I really did. Like for me, that was where what I was looking for, that's where they were all hiding. So went out with a few, whatever. And the thing is, like, I, no shame, I just fully told everyone on YouTube that, but like, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I truly think that, like, with the dating apps, it sucks that everyone is doing this now because that's like kind of ish the only way that you're going to be able to get a date, like with the 26-year-old and his friends. We went out to this country bar and it was just like group of girls, group of guys, group of girls, group of guys. No one was, not his friends, but like anyone, the other people at this establishment were not talking to anyone. And it's actually insane that like we don't talk to each other anymore. Anyway, oh, I've also been ghosted twice. The first time it happened, I literally thought the guy died. He went on a business trip. I was like, did a plane go down? I don't know what's happening, why he's not texting me, like, whatever. And one of my favorite things is like when I first moved to New York, I had nothing going for me. Okay. I like moved here and I was like, I'm gonna figure it out. I know what I want my career to look like. I know what I want to do and I'm gonna make it happen. So dating while you're like working random like side hustles and like you have the dream and you have the career that you want, but like it hasn't really happened yet. And for me, it took some time. Like 3 years of my life was just kind of like, and I was like, something's got to happen soon, okay? Because I am putting out some like good energy and things are not happening. So when you're dating during that time, like I could see it in the guy's face when he was like, oh, like this, like it's not going to happen for this girl. And my favorite thing is when I get a message on Instagram and it comes through as a request because I've since unfollowed all of these men and they say, wow, I was just so curious, just like what you were up to. And like, this is so cool. All these awesome things that you've done. Like, I'm so happy for you. And I'm like, yeah, babe. Because when I moved here, I said I was going to do X, Y, and Z. And now you want to come crawling back that I've done all these cool things. And like, now you want to be able to say, like, literally no, but also that's kind of what motivates me in a way to like do everything out of spite because the people that say that I can't do certain things or like it's not that they say I can't do certain things, but I could see the energy drop or I could see like a certain like the sparkle in their eye kind of die because I mean no one wants to sit across from someone that's like, yeah, I'm like working front desk at this gym just like and doing some other random hustles that I'm like really hoping like one day it works out. I truly think that like as we're getting closer, as we're going into like this second year of Presley's pod, I'm so excited that I have a solid group of friends. I'm so excited that I have like a solid like potential partner. Like who knows what's going to happen. While we were at dinner, he was like, "Oh, I just like wanted to tell you that like maybe I actually don't really like crispy rice." And I was like, wait, let me think about this. Is this a red flag? Like this was in my Hinge profile. So are you like withholding? Are you hiding things from me? So I feel like if literally the only red flag is the fact that he doesn't like crispy rice, then it truly is just more for me. Anyway, I let me just like fully be transparent because that's what we're here for. I won free tickets to game 4 of the Knicks. Okay. First things first, Sean was going to come with me when I entered the raffle. So I text Sean, I'm like, we won, babe. He had to work. I was like, quit your job. Couldn't quit the job, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm going to bring the 26-year-old because sports, right? Now I'm like a fan. I was a fan for like 2 days. The minute that I like won the ticket, I watched the game. I watched game 3. Now we're like locked in. Game 5 is tonight. But also, my sweet, sweet friends Lauren and Addie won the tickets. And it was so funny that we all brought our men to the game. Lauren has a boyfriend. Addie is seeing someone, and granted, I think I've said this 1,000 times on the pod, but I'm like, this one has potential, maybe. She like, can you just imagine being a straight man and like having the girl that you're seeing say this to you? Like, this is so iconic. She was like, hey, what are you doing on Monday night, like for game 3? And he was like, oh, I think I'm just like gonna watch it with a friend at a bar. Like, what about you? And she was like, do you want to come to the game with me? Like, if that didn't like seal the deal for this man, I don't know what could. So we had the best time at the game. I'm fully a sports girly now. I'm gonna watch the other game tonight, and I want to finish with some. Wow, I can't talk. I feel like I'm so excited about all of this. Like my brain is just so scattered right now. I also went to a new workout class this morning, and it was very hard. It was very like team oriented, so we had to like talk to each other, which crazy, but like we did it. So my brain's like not really working. But two things. One, I had this realization, and now this is a finance podcast. I had this realization that if I stop getting my nails done, I can afford the facials that I want. Like, you would think that it's that obvious, but sometimes it's not. Like, you can get in routines of like what you pay for, and you're just like, yep, I do this, I do this, I do this. And I'm like, wait a second, if I stopped getting my nails done, I can go get like good facials. And I was like, okay, noted. Anyway, I said that there was a gift, and the gift is another year. No. Well, yes, we will be doing another year of Presley's Pod, but when I first started the pod, I was always so like anti social media, right? So, as someone who's anti social media, how does one expect to have a YouTube show, promote said show without social media, right? So, I said, okay, you know what? I'll do TikTok. I'll do TikTok. I'll just post clips of the pod on TikTok and like fingers crossed that people see it and they subscribe. So then I kind of started to think, right? I have an Instagram that is strictly for my other work. And sometimes in the stories, I'll post about my social life. So I said, what if I could take those stories that I post about of my social life, of my day to day, and make it a whole Presley's Pod Instagram with clips of the show, things that I'm doing, my friends, the guests you know and love. Like our lives in New York City are so fun and so cool. But also I want to like if you ever see me start to become an influencer and go to like brand dinners, literally punch me in the face, okay? Comment on my YouTube videos and be like, you said you weren't going to do this, okay? Because I think that's what this whole like influencing thing is missing. Like, we're missing people that are like, yeah, I'm not going to get my nails done because I can't afford it. Like, we're like, no one's saying that. And I like fully, like, yeah, I have a one pair of like gold ballet flats that are like my it shoe of the summer. And yeah, you really only need one pair of shoes. Like, this like whole social, and I see it with myself too, like influencers and outfits for every like occasion. It's like it's too much, and then you feel less than because like you can't do any of that. But like, do you actually need all of that? I could go on for days about that. Anyway, so I'm hoping that I like, my goal is to always stay like true, transparent, and just have a good time on Presley's Pod, because yes, it's fun to listen to people that you like aspire to be, but also real life, like real situations, real scenarios are happening like a majority of the population has to deal with. So anyway, that's why I was like, yeah, I didn't pay 10K for game 4 tickets. No, I won them for free. Okay? Like, full disclosure. So I hope everyone has a great Sunday, and I will see you all next week. Happy 1 year of Presley's Pod, and be sure to give me a follow on Instagram, like, subscribe, do all the things. Love you guys. Thanks for a great year, and I'm so excited for whatever happens in the next one. Bye.